Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a bill recently signed into law will help Kentucky better respond to future weather events that leave behind destruction. And as the weather continues to warm up, it's best to stay cautious before you hit the trails on your ATV so you can keep having fun.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Chas Gayhart. It is 4:59 on Tuesday, April 4th. Let's go over and check in with Brandon. Brandon, it's a pretty calm morning.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
But things are going to pick up in the next couple of days. But I can tell you today we're going to start picking up as we see some warmer temperatures this afternoon. Let's take a look, see what's going on across the region this morning. We start in downtown Hazard at Triangle Park, and you'll see not too much going on, but the temperatures are fairly mild today compared to where they were at this time yesterday. 50s, 40s, 60s. It's kind of all over the place out there this morning, but again, warmer today than it was yesterday. 49 in Manchester, 43 Grundy. Everybody else is basically in the 50s and 60s. It looks like there. It looks like 60 in Irvin and 61 in Harlan are our warm spots this morning. Out the door forecast, a mix of sun and clouds with more of one than the other at times, and temperatures top out right around 82 this afternoon. A sprinkle or two possible later in the day, but tomorrow, that's the big day as we see the possibility for showers and storms, and we had a new outlook update overnight. I'll bring all that to you coming up here in just a few minutes. Jess?
Thanks, Brandon. Well, there's a lot of shock and disbelief in southern Kentucky as the Pulaski County community mourns the death of a high school football player. Junior tight end Andrew Dodson died on Monday, just a few days after he was hurt during practice game at Pulaski County High School on Friday. He was hospitalized for that injury. There are still unanswered questions surrounding this tragedy as the cause of Andrew's death is still unknown.
That the kid was participating in what would be a normal football action, and he got tackled and hit his head on the ground.
Andrew's loved ones continue to be shown support and love from their community, including Kentucky head football coach Mark Stoops, who posted his condolences to Andrew's family and team on social media. Andrew was only 17 years old. After two major weather catastrophes in the last 2 years, the Commonwealth is getting better prepared for the next one. A Kentucky bill signed into law last Monday will help to form a statewide response team for natural disasters and other incidents requiring emergency response. The goal of this Kentucky Urban Search and Rescue Group would not be to replace existing organizations, but to form a new team who trains and works as one cohesive crew. Kelsey Soto sat down with head of Kentucky Emergency Management to discuss these efforts.
During the devastating tornadoes in western Kentucky and the deadly floods in the east, both times the Commonwealth relied on neighboring states for help.
That tells you that the need is here, and what we'll gain by it is we'll gain response time by having one in the state.
House Bill 157 passed both the House and Senate without a single no vote. It was signed into law last Monday by Governor Andy Beshear. The ink made it official in eastern Kentucky, home to horrific floods last summer. Jeremy Slinker is the director of Kentucky Emergency Management and says this project has been in the works for many years.
It'll just open the door for a lot of opportunities in search and rescue that we currently don't have.
The measure would form one statewide urban search and rescue team to respond in disasters within our borders.
If you went into a larger scale disaster, let's say like an earthquake at the New Madrid Fault, then it may affect multiple states, and those surrounding states that we've depended on may not be as available as they were for some of these others.
A report is due by December 1st with a draft of policies, procedures, and regulations. Director Slinker tells me they are still formulating plans, but admits money will be their biggest hurdle. That funding request will come early next year.
We wanted to move quickly and show the citizens that we're serious about these disasters, and show our first responders and our search and rescue that, we wanted to support them and give them the capabilities.
And that was Kelsey Soto reporting. Director Slinker shared his goal is that once this group gets up and going, they'll also be able to respond and assist others in nearby states who have come to Kentucky's aid on many occasions. Well, as the weather gets warmer, Rescuers like those with the London Laurel County Rescue Squad are prepared to assist with the numerous ATV-related calls they will get this year. Those with the rescue squad say the best ways to avoid being involved in an ATV-related crash is by becoming familiar with the trail you plan to go on and always wearing protective gear and a seatbelt when riding.
Always wear your seatbelt. We see it all the time where people just clip their seatbelt into the seat and then sit on top of it just because they don't want to be bothered by it. But it's really important to have your seatbelt on. Another thing is to avoid alcohol. I know a lot of people get on the trails and it's the weekend and they want to party a little bit, but that always just makes things more complicated.
The London Laurel Rescue Squad adds it is also important for people to go ATV riding in groups. In case a crash were to happen, more people can be there to get help. Prestonsburg Ambulance Service has been on the road for 5 months, and it's already planning to prepare future first responders. The crew of Prestonsburg firefighters is also trained in emergency medical services, so the city decided to open its own ambulance service to better serve the area and utilize trained paramedics during a time when workers are scarce. The group is also taking trainees on calls, working with Big Sandy Community and Technical College and Pikeville's EMTs to give future first responders some hands-on experience.
We're excited to be a part of it, and we were just tickled to death that both of those entities had enough confidence in us to allow us to help train their employees.
Mayor Stapleton says the ambulance service has already had more than 530 calls, and he is excited to watch it grow and give to the people of Prestonsburg. Well, thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Just ahead, we learn the names of the next crew of astronauts who are set to launch into space in NASA's mission to get humans back to the moon. We'll have details when we come back.
Temperatures are heading up today, and they will stay there to a cold front roaster Wednesday night into Thursday, packing some storms along with it. I'll have the latest on those in about 3 minutes.